Kurt Russell recently shared a heartfelt and surprisingly revealing glimpse into his family life, and fans everywhere are buzzing about one adorable reason: his granddaughter, Rio Hudson. According to the legendary actor, there's someone new in the family who seems to be carrying the unmistakable spark of Goldie Hawn. And if Kurt Russell is right, the next generation of this beloved Hollywood dynasty may already be showing signs of star power. For decades, audiences around the world have watched Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn light up movie screens with their charm, humor, and undeniable chemistry. Together, they've become one of the most admired couples in Hollywood history. But now, according to Russell himself, a new personality in the family might be quietly stepping into that legacy, and she's only just getting started. During a recent public appearance, Russell was asked about his growing family and what it's like watching his grandchildren grow up. The 74-year-old actor, known for his iconic roles and a career that has spanned more than 60 decades, suddenly lit up when the conversation turned to his granddaughter Rio. What started as a simple question quickly turned into a warm and proud reflection about the newest personality in the Russell-Hawn family circle. Russell revealed that Rio, the daughter of actor Oliver Hudson and actress Erinn Bartlett, has already begun showing qualities that remind him very strongly of Goldie Hawn. Not just a passing resemblance or a playful comparison, but something deeper, a spark of personality, an energy, and a natural love for performing that instantly reminded him of the woman who has been his partner for more than 40 years. The way Russell spoke about Rio made it clear that this observation wasn't just a casual remark. It came from years of watching people perform, years of understanding what it takes to captivate an audience, and years of seeing the unique charisma that made Goldie Hawn such a phenomenon. According to Russell, Rio has developed a strong passion for dancing, and it's something that immediately caught his attention. He explained that she doesn't just enjoy it casually, she throws herself into it with enthusiasm and confidence, the kind of confidence that is hard to teach and even harder to fake. Anyone who has spent time around young performers knows the difference between a child who simply enjoys dancing and one who seems to feel it naturally. Russell hinted that Rio falls into the second category. He said that Rio already shows impressive ability when it comes to dance, describing her talent in a way that suggested this may be more than just a childhood hobby. Within the family, the similarities between Rio and Goldie have become such a running joke that some relatives have started affectionately calling her Mini Goldie. The nickname might sound playful, but it carries a deeper meaning when you understand Goldie Hawn's history. Before Goldie Hawn ever stepped onto a film set, before she became one of the most beloved actresses in Hollywood, she was first and foremost a dancer. Born in Washington, D.C. in 1945, Goldie began studying ballet and tap dancing at a very young age. Her mother owned a dance school, and Goldie spent much of her childhood surrounded by music, choreography, and performance. Those early years shaped everything that came later. Dance wasn't just an activity for her, it was a way of expressing herself. It taught her discipline, timing, and the ability to connect with an audience without saying a single word. By the time she was a teenager, she was already teaching ballet classes and performing in stage productions. Her dream at the time wasn't necessarily to become a movie star, she simply loved performing. Dance was her first language. When she eventually moved into television and film, that dance background gave her a unique presence. She had rhythm, timing, and physical comedy skills that made her performances stand out from everyone else. Her big breakthrough came in the late 1960s when she appeared on the comedy sketch show Laugh-In. At the time, television comedy was evolving, and Laugh-In became one of the most influential shows of its era. Goldie Hawn quickly became one of the standout personalities on the program. Her bubbly personality, infectious laughter, and carefree charm made her instantly recognizable. Audiences felt like they were watching someone who genuinely loved what they were doing. There was an authenticity about her. She wasn't trying to be funny, she simply was. Audiences were instantly drawn to her energy. She seemed joyful, spontaneous, and completely natural on screen. It wasn't long before Hollywood noticed. In 1969, Goldie Hawn won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for her performance in the film Cactus Flower. The win launched a long and successful career that would include dozens of beloved movies. Over the years, she starred in hit films like Private Benjamin, Overboard, The First Wives Club, Bird on a Wire, Death Becomes Her, and many more. She became known not only for her comedic brilliance, but also for the warmth and sincerity she brought to every role. Audiences trusted her. When Goldie Hawn appeared on screen, viewers felt like they were spending time with a friend. And somewhere along the way, she met Kurt Russell. Their story is one of Hollywood's most fascinating love stories. The two first crossed paths in the late 1960s while working on a Disney project. At the time, Kurt Russell was just a teenager building his career as a young actor, and Goldie Hawn was already beginning to gain attention in television. They didn't start dating then, but the meeting left an impression. Years later, in 1983, they reunited while filming the movie Swing Shift. By that time, both had established careers and life experience behind them. Kurt Russell later recalled that he was immediately struck by Goldie's energy and beauty when he saw her again. He described her as radiant, full of life, and impossible not to notice. Their connection was instant. Not long after filming began, they started spending time together outside the set. And from that moment on, their relationship grew into one of Hollywood's most enduring partnerships. Despite being together for more than 40 decades, Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn never married. They've often explained that their relationship works precisely because they never felt pressured to follow traditional expectations. For them, commitment was always about love and partnership, rather than paperwork. In interviews over the years, Goldie has joked that if they had married, they might have divorced a long time ago. Remaining unmarried, she has said, allowed them to choose each other every day. Together, they created a blended family that became one of the most admired in Hollywood. Goldie had 2 children from her previous marriage, Kate Hudson and Oliver Hudson. Kurt Russell embraced both children as his own and played a major role in raising them. Later, Kurt and Goldie welcomed their son, Wyatt Russell. Over the years, the family grew into a tight-knit group that remained remarkably close despite the pressures of fame. Kate Hudson became one of the most successful actresses of her generation, earning an Academy Award nomination for her performance in Almost Famous. Oliver Hudson built a successful television career and developed a reputation for his humor and down-to-earth personality. Wyatt Russell followed a different path at first, pursuing professional hockey before eventually transitioning into acting and appearing in major television and film projects. Through it all, Kurt and Goldie remained the emotional center of the family. They prioritized family gatherings, holidays together, and maintaining strong bonds between everyone. Family dinners, celebrations, and vacations became traditions that kept everyone connected. Now that the next generation has arrived, that same closeness continues. Goldie Hawn has often spoken about how becoming a grandmother completely changed her perspective on life. She has described it as one of the greatest joys she has ever experienced. For someone who spent decades in the spotlight, being a grandmother offered a different kind of happiness, a quieter kind, a more personal kind, and Kurt Russell clearly feels the same way. When he talks about his grandchildren, his voice carries the kind of pride that only grandparents understand. Watching children grow up, discover their interests, and develop their personalities can be an incredibly rewarding experience. And in Rio Hudson's case, it seems that her personality is already making a big impression on the family. Rio was born in July 2013 to Oliver Hudson and Erinn Bartlett. She is the youngest of their 3 children, joining her older brothers Wilder and Bodie. Growing up in such a creative and famous family means Rio has always been surrounded by storytelling, acting, music, and artistic expression. Family gatherings often include conversations about films, scripts, performances, and creative ideas. But despite all that Hollywood influence, the family has always tried to keep their children grounded. They emphasize kindness, humor, and curiosity more than fame. That environment allows kids like Rio to explore their interests naturally. And in Rio's case, dance appears to be the activity that truly excites her. Whether it's practicing routines, moving to music, or performing for family members, she seems to find joy in movement. And that joy is exactly what Kurt Russell reminds of Goldie Hawn. Because if there's one thing that has always defined Goldie's career, it's joy. Her performances have always carried a sense of fun. Even decades into her career, audiences still associate her with laughter and positivity. Seeing a similar energy appear in his granddaughter must be a powerful experience for Kurt Russell. It's like watching a familiar light appear in a new place. Still, Russell has made it clear that Rio is not being pushed toward any particular career. The family believes strongly in letting children discover their own paths. If Rio chooses dance, acting, music, or something completely different, she will have their support. But the possibility that she might carry forward the family's creative spirit is undeniably exciting. Hollywood history is filled with families whose talents span multiple generations. From the Barrymores to the Coppolas, creative passion often seems to run in the blood. The Russell-Hawn Hudson family may very well become another example of that tradition. But for Kurt Russell, the story isn't really about Hollywood at all. It's about watching a young girl grow into her own person. His comments about Rio were filled with affection and admiration, not expectations. He simply sees a young girl who loves to dance and perform, and he enjoys watching her discover who she is. Sometimes that's all that matters. Because the most meaningful legacies aren't always about fame or awards. They're about passing down joy, creativity, and confidence from one generation to the next. And if Rio Hudson truly carries a piece of Goldie Hawn's spirit, then that legacy is already alive and thriving. The Russell-Hawn family has spent decades bringing laughter, emotion, and unforgettable stories to audiences around the world. Now, quietly and naturally, the next chapter of that story may already be unfolding, not on a movie set, not on a red carpet, but in dance rehearsals, family living rooms, and the joyful moments of a young girl discovering her love for performing. And if Kurt Russell's proud smile is any indication, he believes the future looks very bright. One thing is certain, the Russell-Hawn legacy continues to grow stronger with every new generation, and somewhere in that growing family is a young girl affectionately called Mini Goldie, dancing her way through childhood while unknowingly carrying forward the spirit of one of Hollywood's most beloved stars. Whether Rio Hudson ever steps onto a movie screen or chooses a completely different path, she already has something special, a family that believes in her, a grandfather who proudly tells the world about her talents, and a legacy of creativity and joy that stretches across generations. For fans who have loved Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn for decades, watching their family grow is a reminder that Hollywood stories don't always end when the cameras stop rolling. Sometimes they simply continue through the next generation, and this one may just be getting started. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more celebrity updates just like this.